Good evening, nighttime crocheters. It's actually pretty early nighttime for me here, just 6 o'clock, about 6 o'clock. But I'm here still working on the dog sweater. I told y'all I'm slow, and I would have had oh, 3 or 4 more rows done, be ready to do the leg holes, except I know too well. I know better than the pattern. Instead of counting every row the way I should have, I didn't count them. And when I did notice that it was flaring out in a very odd fashion on one side only, I decided maybe I ought to count. And when I did, I found out I had somehow added 5 stitches. So I had to frog back 3 rows earlier today, and I've just about caught back up to where I was at that point. So I've learned my lesson. I'm going to count my rows every time around. I'm going to count, make sure I'm not adding stitches. It's one of the most elementary mistakes, isn't it, right? Well, nobody ever said that I wasn't still in the elementary stages with my counting. I teach English for a living. I don't teach math. So, this is what this is what happens when you give me numbers. I can't do it. So today's been really a very, very quiet day for me. Got up early, went and sat with my great niece this morning. The little girl that I told you was sick in yesterday's video. She was feeling better, still not 100%, but she was feeling better. So I just went and sat with her. When her grandparents left the house, they said, "Oh, do you want Gigi to come and stay?" And she thinks it's really cool to be able to stay by herself, by herself with me next door. But this morning she said, well, if she would come over, it would be okay. So I knew she didn't feel well and that she really probably wanted company. I sat and crocheted. I sat and frogged after I realized my mistake, and she played on her tablet in her bedroom. So it was a very quiet morning. And then because I'd gotten up so early, I had to have a nap this afternoon. It's one of my guilty pleasures, having a nap. Have always enjoyed napping. So I didn't get in. I thought, oh, I'll just have a little short nap and then I'll get up and crochet. No, I had what a friend of mine calls death nap. I slept forever and it felt so good. So now I'm crocheting. And the nice thing is that I can crochet as late as I want to tonight. Don't have any plans for tomorrow. It's still cold and very damp here in Southeast Texas. I am not willing to get out and do much of anything when it's cold like this. So I really don't think I have to go out at all, which is nice. You know that of course, I'm thinking, ooh, maybe I could go and go to next town over and go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And then I thought, foolish woman, you have yarn coming in the mail. Don't do that. So I'm not going to do that. I would like to say at this point, if you're liking what you see, and if you have maybe watched a few videos and noticed that maybe I'm getting better, I hope I'm getting better, hit that subscribe button. I think I have 15 subscribers. I'd like to get to 25 by the end of December if I could. So it'd be really nice if you hit subscribe, hit like on this video. It helps the algorithm. Not just more of my videos will show up in your feed, but I have a feeling that more crochet videos would show up in your feed. So if you're looking to help support a newbie, I'd really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun doing this. It's a lot more fun than recording videos for my online English classes. There's never anybody on the other end of them. And I never even know if my students watch them. So it's very nice if y'all will drop a comment and let me know that you have watched. Give me some advice if you have it. Just comment on what I'm crocheting. Just drop in and say hello. Tell me about what you're working on. Tell me about your pets. You know that I'm frequently attacked by my pets. They all just had dinner, so I hope they're all have decided that they're going to go lie down somewhere and be good. I don't know if you just can see this little ghost behind me. Maisie, don't scratch the furniture. That's my cat, Maisie. She's a little bit shyer than her sister, who was pestering me yesterday. But Maisie is the calico in the family, and she has a calico attitude, as they say. I've often had tortoise shell cats, and they have a tortitude, but calicos like her, they also have an attitude. She's a sweetie, but she is shyer than her sister is, and shyer than Coco whenever I'm sitting on the couch. Normally Coco is shy, but that's the way that cookie crumbles. Wanted to talk a little bit about, see, I have to stop crocheting if I'm going to talk too much, because that's when I do things like make the wrong stitches or put 2 stitches in one place when it doesn't need to be there, all that sort of good stuff. I've been thinking about things that I want to crochet. One thing I want to do ultimately for myself or for my sister, it's nice that she lives next door so I can try things on her, but I want to make some sort of wearable for one of us or both of us. I also am looking for small things to make. Always in the past, and I think it's why I've frequently gotten frustrated with crocheting, I would set myself up for failure. That's how I felt, because I would say, I'm going to crochet a blanket. And then I would get really tired about 1/3 of the way through the blanket. It's like, oh, this is boring. It's just, even if I was using a pretty stitch, I like the fan stitch. Is that what it is? Makes you usually either do 5 or 7 double crochets in a stitch, and makes a really pretty little pattern in your fabric. I like those a lot, but even that gets boring after a while. And so I would end up putting it down, pardon me, and not going any further with it. And I have a feeling when I tear into my crap room, that's what I call the craft room, I'm going to find a whole bunch of, we're not even going to call them whips. They are UFOs. They are unfinished objects. And most of them are not going to have yarn with them, and they're not going to have a crochet hook with them. And I'm not going to have left any sort of notes with them, because back then I didn't have the presence of mind to do that. I didn't think about it. I thought, oh, I'll always remember what I was doing. And we know that just doesn't happen. Now, whenever I put something down, if I don't think I'm going to come back to it right away, I either leave the crochet hook in the bag with it, or I leave a note in the bag with a note about what crochet hook I'm using. If I have bought all the yarn for that project, I try to put all the yarn and whatever I've managed to accomplish, I try to put it all in the same bag. I'm sure that's not a piece of advice that any of y'all need. If you've been crocheting for any time at all, you've probably already come up with your own method. But for me, it involves usually using an index card, because it doesn't fall apart too easily. It doesn't get all bent up and creased up. And it's not quite as likely to fall out of whatever I'm storing the project in. So that's what I do these days to try to keep up. But I've been having a lot of a big feeling of satisfaction with the smaller projects that I'm working on, because I can actually finish them. Even though I haven't finished this little dog sweater yet, I see an end in sight with it, because I'm almost at the point where I'm going to put in the little, I'm calling them armholes. They're really just sort of I don't know, you crochet then you chain and, you know, catch up on the, you know, however many stitches away. You know, that's the way that these little armholes are made for this. I'm not, the pattern has you know, a section where you can do a leg that comes down on a little bit onto the dog's little arm, but I'm not going to try that on this sweater. I plan to make a larger one of these for my dog Max. I have the yarn for his sweater. It's going to be blue and gold because I think it'll look pretty on him. So that's what I'm going to do with my boy. But I really am enjoying doing these smaller projects because I can finish them. It's like, even I see an end in sight. Like if I'm good and I sit and crochet tonight and don't do something stupid like, you know, go down a rabbit hole on the telephone. The telephone, that's not even what they are anymore. But on my smartphone, if I don't start, you know, watching YouTube or looking at reels or something, then I should be able to get this sweater finished by the end of the weekend. So that's really nice. I do have to put my little Christmas trees together for the event at church, not tomorrow, but the next Saturday. And I've just been putting that off because it's going to be a little bit tedious to do. But, you know, tomorrow the sun is supposed to be out, I think. And so if it's a little bit sunnier, I may feel a little bit more inclined. After I get some housework done, then I'll maybe throw those little suckers out on the desk and start putting them together and sticking the beads in them, putting them in some plastic bags and getting them ready for the event next week. I've made all of the worms, as one of the other women in the crochet group calls them. All I have to do now is put them together. I've got the beads, so it really shouldn't be that awful a chore. I hope. I have my fingers crossed about that. I have found a pattern that one of the next things I want to pick up, which I'll probably do before I work on Max's sweater. I have seen these before, and I have wanted to make a set like this, a set of coasters, and you also crochet the little basket that they fit into. I'm going to start with plain Jane ones, just round coasters, round basket. But I also think those are really cute where you can crochet your little basket, and then when you put your coasters down into it, you have a contrast color on the edge of them, and as you push them down in there, it looks like you've got flowers coming out the top of the little basket. I think those are really pretty. So I want to try that as well, just to turn my hand at it, see what I can do. I shouldn't say I think I can do it. I know I can do it. It's just, you know, lighting a fire underneath my behind and getting it done. That's the big thing that's going on there. So I'm going to close this video out tonight. It's a short one, I know. I figure that sometimes y'all deserve a break from listening to me ramble. I do appreciate y'all listening to me ramble. I'd really love it if y'all would give me some comments. If you have a topic you want to hear me ramble about, I'd be happy to. I don't know if anybody has noticed that behind me here, with all amongst other junk behind me, you can see the top of a spinning wheel sitting there. You can see the bobbin on it. If you have any questions about spinning, pop those in the comments. If and when, and I know it will happen because of where I live, we will have some warm weather coming up. What I really want to do is to take the spinning wheel out onto the back porch and set my camera up so that you can see the whole wheel and spin and talk about the whole spinning process. That's another thing I want to do in the near future. Maybe not quite so near future, middle of next year or even toward the end of it. I want to spin some yarn or find some of the yarn I've already spun and use it to crochet something. And, you know, of course, most of what I have spun already and what I'm going to spin in the future, it's all wool. So it will be special projects that have to be made with that yarn that I've made. Not sure what they will be. And I'm going to have to think about that and just see how much yarn I end up with out of any of my spinning projects. So that's on my dance card for 2026. Anyway, I'm glad you're here with me. I hope you've made it all the way to the end. Again, I'd ask you to hit that subscribe button, hit like, share, make a comment, and I will see you tomorrow. Today is Vlogmas Day 5, and I'll see you tomorrow on December 6th for Vlogmas Day 6. And tomorrow is my nephew's birthday. So he does watch my videos, so he will probably hear his happy birthday shout out today, and I'll try to remember to shout him out again tomorrow. All right. We'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks a lot.